US President Joe Biden's administration said on Sunday that they will begin a new program to relocate selected Afghans as refugees in the US. On Monday, the US State Department was anticipated to announce the establishment of the so-called Priority to Refugee program, according to the three individuals who spoke on the condition of anonymity. A request for comment from the State Department was not immediately returned. The initiative comes as a combat intensifies in Afghanistan as the United States prepares to remove its troops at the end of this month, with the Taliban attempting to seize key provincial capitals. Biden has been pressed by the legislators and advocacy organization to help Afghans who fear Taliban vengeance as a result of their support for the US throughout the 20 years conflict. The new refugee program, according to an administration official, will encompass Afghans who work for the US-funded initiatives as well as non-governmental organizations and media outlets headquartered in the US. The Special Immigration Visa or SIV program, who include interpreters and others who work for the US government as well as their families, does not apply to the Afghans. Last week, some 200 SIV candidates and family members traveled into the United States as part of the Operation Allies Refugee, an evacuation plan that might encompass up to 50,000 people. They were brought to a military facility in Virginia to finalize their paperwork before being sent across the nation. The new Afghan program would be distinct from a Priority to Refugee program for Iraqis, which has been indefinitely halted as US investigators investigate a wide-ranging fraud scandal, according to an administration official. According to the official, candidates for the new Afghan program must be suggested by the US agencies, top US officials, non-government organizations, or news outlets. According to the officials, the recommended requirement is a major distinction between the new Afghan program and the Iraqi program, which permits Iraqis to apply directly without a referral.
Even as we withdraw our forces from Afghanistan, the United States and our partners remain deeply engaged. We'll continue to work toward an Afghanistan where all Afghans can live in safety and security, and we will continue our support for Afghan institutions and for the gains that the Afghan people have made over the past 20 years. Our partnership with the people of Afghanistan will endure long after our service members have departed. We will keep engaging intensely in diplomacy to advance negotiations between the Afghan government and the Taliban with the goal of a political solution, which we believe is the only path to lasting peace. And we'll keep working closely with countries in the region, which all have a stake in a stable, peaceful, democratic Afghanistan. At the same time, Afghans who worked with the United States or the International Security Assistance Force at some point since 2001 are facing acute fears of persecution or retribution that will likely grow as coalition forces leave the country. We have a special responsibility to these individuals. They stood with us. We will stand with them. Over the past 13 years, the State Department has issued more than 73,000 special immigrant visas to eligible Afghans who have helped the United States and also to their families. Last year alone, we issued nearly 8,000 of those visas. Now, we've accelerated and expanded the program. Congress recently increased the cap by another 8,000 visas. The first flight of Operation Allies Refuge arrived in the United States on Friday. The second flight arrived early this morning, together transporting around 400 people, and those flights will continue. We're now focused on relocating a group of more than 1,000 applicants and their families who have nearly completed processing, around 4,000 people in total. Additionally, we're pursuing third country agreements so eligible Afghans can be quickly relocated to wait safely in another country while we finish elements of this rigorous vetting process. With regard first to Afghans who seek to leave the country and seek to avail themselves of the refugee programs, etc., you're right. This is incredibly hard. It is hard on so many levels. It's hard to pick up and leave everything you know, potentially family, friends, community, culture, language. And it's hard to get yourself to a place where you can take advantage of what opportunities exist to seek to apply for refugee status. And we recognize that. This is, alas, the case for millions of people around the world who find themselves in very difficult situations, and particularly in Afghanistan now, especially a group of people who may have worked for us, worked for NGOs, media organizations, women and girls and others, who feel an acute sense of threat and fear for the future. And so, as we see again and again, people have to do very difficult things to make sure that they can find safety and security, and we will do everything we can to help them, including making these different avenues of arrival to the United States for this group of people possible. We are also dedicating very significant assistance, humanitarian assistance, not only in Afghanistan itself, but to neighboring countries, to enable them to support those who come to their countries, again, seeking potentially refugee status somewhere or immigrant status somewhere. So that support, I think, makes it a little bit easier, but I don't want to deny the challenge or the difficulty. It is indeed a hard thing.